Hey everyone, it's Jamie from Independence Tree Tarot and Seasons from Ritual, and I'm just jumping on real quick to talk about Mars entering Cancer. Mars entered Cancer a couple days ago, and Mars will be in Cancer for the next 6 months. And to me, this is going to be a very big story for the next 6 months. This is going to be playing into how we integrate energy, how we integrate stories, how we leave stories behind for the next 6 months. When the personal planets stay in a sign for 6 months, that's a big deal. It's a big deal to me. Let's say that it's a big deal to me um, because the personal planets usually move pretty quickly, unlike the outer planets such as Pluto, who just retrograded back into Capricorn, but will be in Aquarius for 20 years once it settles back in. So 6 months for a personal planet is something that we should pay attention to. So I've kind of been thinking about what that's going to mean. And again, it will evolve over the next 6 months, which is good. I would be a little leery of someone, astrologer or anyone who tells you this is exactly what it's going to mean, um, because we are in this age of Aquarius. And so while we will have some commonality, as a human species, it is very important to remember that we are in this age of individualism. Okay. And also, it's really important to know that the lower vibe of Aquarius is feeling alone and like no one understands you. So if that starts to come up, recognize that and please know that you're not alone and there's plenty of people to talk to, plenty of people to reach out. Um, if you start to feel isolated, that is to me, that is a red flag to reach out and talk to people. Like no one needs to feel isolated. You're not isolated. There's always someone who's going to understand you. And if you reach out to one person and it's not the right person, reach out to someone else. People are people, and some people can understand, be compassionate, hold you in that space, and others can't. And I think that is one of the many lessons we are going to really start to understand with this Mars in Cancer. Cancer is cardinal water. Cancer rules the home. We ourselves are our own home. And a big theme that has been coming in now, I would say for a couple months, um, is this idea of safe spaces becoming unsafe. And, a lot of times what's so funny is like when these things come up or when these things finally have words to them, it's like the no-brainer, right? Like even though we've been watching it unfold for years, but once it becomes so clear, it's like, oh, now I get it, which is always fun. And it's always sort of like a aha moment. Um, and so the idea of places that maybe we consider homes or safe spaces that then all of a sudden become unsafe, right? And so before I would, attribute that, or even now, you could attribute that to if we were going to see Mars as in the old patriarchal sense of unpredictability and hot-tempered. Mars rules Aries, and it was that idea of just kind of being hot-tempered and not taking accountability and showing up and, showing out in the worst way possible. And Mars and Aries have gone under a lot. I'm not saying it's not that energy signature is not still there, but Mars and Aries have gone under a lot of change since 2019, since Uranus entered Taurus. And so moving with this new energy signature that's coming in, especially with Mars being in Cancer for the next 6 months, it's really important to remember that Mars was conjunct Uranus and Taurus last month. Or no, excuse me, we're in September. So in July. And that was a huge conjunction. Mars meeting up with, Uranus, everybody's like rebellion, unpredictable, those kinds of things. But it's also important to remember if Mars has been on this journey of becoming the spiritual warrior, meeting up with Uranus in Taurus. Taurus is fixed Earth. Taurus is ruled by Venus. Taurus is how we value ourselves, and Uranus rules Aquarius. Aquarius is the individual first. Aquarius is the individual and then the collective, right? And Uranus has been in this fixed Earth to churn all that up, churn up that old way of being, that old way of seeing, that old way of feeling, the old way of thinking that, oh, I'm only worth something if someone outside of myself sees my self-worth. That's not the energy that we're in anymore. And this new energy signature is here of, seeing our self-worth, being the change that we want to be, all those things, right? And it's not that the energy signature hasn't been here or talked about for years. It's just that it's coming in a lot faster because Pluto is now into Aquarius. Uranus has been churning up this old way of being for years in Taurus. And Uranus really did a number on Mars in Aries. I believe it was back in I always want to say 2018, but it might have been 2019, where they had a long time with Uranus was just blasting the shit out of them. And to me, that was them becoming grown up, becoming divine masculine energy, because the divine energy, the divine feminine energy on the planet was so high, it's not going anywhere, it's still here, that the divine masculine energy has to catch up. Because we as people, right, if you think of yin and yang, we are equal parts masculine and feminine energy. And I will say this probably until I don't. But one of the greatest things that the patriarchy did was take that away from us, that idea that we're only man or we're only woman, and our masculine, feminine, how you want to see the energy, when the reality of it is we have both of those energy signatures within us, no matter how we present, no matter what our pronouns, that feminine and masculine energy is within us. And for years, that's been taken away. You're either this or that. And that's just not how we are as humans. That's not how nature works. Even when you look at the yin yang signal, right? Like or symbol, it's together. So this Mars in Cancer is another time, is really going to be a really intense 6 months period for us to really start to get that in balance better. I think it's beautiful that it started in Virgo season with mutable Earth. Again, working with the energy of the Virgin, the energy of not being attached, the energy of resolving what needs to be resolved, the energy of knowing there's no such thing as sin, right? No such thing as shame and guilt. And once that was realized, the Virgin was able to ascend, right? Back into that beautiful energy of the self and being pure, right? The patriarchy is what made it as someone who didn't have sex. So that's another, whatever. It is what it is, right? But we're going forward. So working with this divine masculine energy now that I see as Mars, it is important to remember that he did have this intense conjunction with Uranus in Taurus. And so it was like, a few years ago, he and Aries were getting blasted by Uranus, and now in Taurus, and now he was able to go through and have this sacred conversation to really see how far he's come. Let's see, 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's 5 years. I would say, five is the number of change and grace. 5 is the pentacle, right? And an earth sign. So I just think, I could go on with these. I think it's really beautiful. So, so Mars entering Cancer is it's this baptism, right? It's this place of renewal. It's this place of being strong in who he is, but it's also a place where Mars can still integrate this feminine energy of intuition. masculines are divine. I always say this, the masculine becomes divine when he starts to listen to his intuition, right? Because it all has to work together. Like I have to know which way to move. If that divine masculine energy in me is how I move, I have to know which way to move after I start listening to my intuition, right? And so for that, sorry guys, it's humid as shit outside. For that, we have to have our masculine and feminine energies working together, trusting each other, understanding each other, loving each other. So this is a really important next 6 months. It will ebb and flow. Cancer is a water sign. Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon is our intuition. The moon is divine feminine, right? And Mars, who is still that warrior planet. But again, I see him as that divine masculine warrior. So it would be the spiritual warrior. I feel him entering right away is him giving courage to us, to listening to our intuition, giving us courage to change the home. You know, I'm not going to do this anymore. Things are going to be different. Cardinal water, cardinal signs initiate, right? So this is our first way of feeling, if you will. This is the way I'm going to love myself moving forward. This is the way I'm going to love others moving forward. He's bringing in that earth energy. He's bringing in air energy because he just came out of Gemini, right? And Jupiter is also in Gemini. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Yeah, Sagittarius, which is also another earth sign. Excuse me, which is another fire sign. So he's bringing in more fire and earth with him into this water sign and air. And that is one of the other energy signatures that I see, that we've really got to see how we integrate all of the elements within us. We're not just air, we're not just fire, we're not just water. And some of you could be like, Jamie, I'm a triple Aries, I know who you are, you know who you are. And that is true. At the same time, it is going into this, well, where is the moon? If the moon's in Scorpio, which it is today, well, then you're working with water, right? And you're always working with water when you're working with the moon, because the moon rules Cancer. And so it is this idea that our homes become more of a safe space because we're able to navigate with all the information that we have from all the elements. Instead of thinking, this is so foreign to me, I don't get this at all. Even when we go to places and we're like, this is really foreign to me, I don't get this at all. But if we take that moment, we can observe, we can integrate, we can ask our intuition, what the shit do I need to do now? And then we can show up and kind of flow into these situations that we may be getting in or experiencing, right? So I'm really interested in seeing how Mars works with Cancer and how Cancer works with Mars. And this is, it is going to be what it is in a sense. You can think of, volcanoes and oceans, right? There is still that symbiotic relationship that happens, whether it makes sense to us in the 3D realm or whatever realm, if not. But you have water, you have fire, you have earth, you have gases, which is air. You have all those things that create a new landmass. So this Mars in Cancer is initiating, as we always love to say, this new Earth, right? And how we get there is how we get there. But it's important to really notice your system, really notice your home, and really start to see where there are places that should be safe places, right? If your body isn't a safe place anymore, what can you do to make it a safe place? Where can you put up those boundaries? Where can you get help with a therapist or a massage or a chiropractor or whatever, where can you go, exercise or be with people, right? Because we want to keep the body, right, our home a safe place. Once we get our homes being safe places, then it's really easy to make other areas outside of us that maybe people see as homes as safe places. And this is, I always say, or like we call it baptism by fire, and this is it, my babies. Like this is it. This is go time. So um I think I'm gonna, you guys want to pull a card? Let's pull a card. I've got the tarot deck. I've got death, which is good, right? Scorpio moon today. Okay, let's pull one card. And we'll be checking back in with this Cancer, Mars and Cancer. And it's really important, you guys, if you're listening to other astrologers or whoever else, to see what really resonates because everything is changing. Um, Mars is not the same old Mars. He's not the same old Mars. And it's always important to remember that he had an intense conversation with Uranus. With Uranus. Um, that's so good. Ooh, Queen of Swords, we're ending drama, my babies. We're telling people to bring it on because we're over it. He had that intense conversation with Uranus, who is in Taurus, and Taurus again is churning up this new earth, is showing us new value. The strength card comes in, right? Because if Mars is the lion, right? This is Cancer, soothing that lion, right? That's the strength. Instead of just coming in and roaring and scaring the shit out of everybody and not knowing what to do, it's telling us to have the strength. We know how to calm that lion. And there's something really beautiful in that. And as you can see, we have the affinity symbol on the top. It's the number 8 card. Because it is important to integrate. And I was going to say, and the number 8 goes to Leo, Leo the lion, Leo is the sun, Leo is the divine masculine. And it is really important to see this idea and feel this idea that we are integrating this divine masculine energy within us. And it's really important for us to heal that masculine energy within us. The sooner, I can tell you this, the sooner I started healing that masculine energy within me, the sooner I started feeling more grounded, more stable. I wasn't grieving as much. And I know it's because I started to feel whole again. I started to feel whole again. So this is beautiful to work with. That could be that virgin energy, right? Virgo. Soothing that lion. So and it's where we are, right? The infinity symbol. This is where we're supposed to be. It's part of our destiny to be here at this time, right? At the exact moment. So I'll keep you guys updated and keep checking in with Mars and Cancer. It's 6 months. This is such a long time. So just take it day by day. Let's stay present. Let's check in with our solar plexus, right? Let's check in with our root chakra. That could be Mars, that's red. Let's check in with our throat. That is Taurus. Let's just check in with all the chakras. Let's say that. And remember, in Virgo season, it is the digestive system. So let's see what we're digesting and let's see what we're not able to digest. And I mean anything, news, pollution. If you're not digesting it, like notice that. Digestive means what are we digesting? Okay. And how we can work with this Virgo energy to resolve it. So just a quick little come on about Mars entering Cancer, another feather in our cap, friends, as we move forward in this energy of revolution, quite honestly. So if you guys have any questions, just reach out, always in the comments below. You can get me on Instagram under Independent Street Tarot or Seasons and Ritual. I don't know how to end this, so I'm just going to say have a great afternoon and we'll talk soon.